What's up, shit? Timmy's here. Now, since one of the other stars in the new show The Beauty, which premieres tonight, is Rebecca Hall. Here is my top 10 favorite Rebecca Hall movies because I've always liked Rebecca Hall. You know, she's definitely a really talented actress. She's also a director too. Like who doesn't adore her, right? So here is my official top 10. All right, number 10 is pretty much the only film on this list that she directed, and that is Passing. Passing was a Netflix film, and I'm a little biased for this one because I was lucky enough to see Rebecca Hart in person one time at Paris Cinema, where she was having like a live Q&A. So I was lucky enough to see Rebecca Hart in person there. But anyway, she of course only directed this really, and it's about two black women who reconnect in 1920s Harlem, and both racial identity here. And it's a really decent, amazing film. Tessa Thompson was great. Ruth Negga, who I was also lucky enough to see in person, there as well. She's incredible. Alexander Skarsgård, Andre Holland. It is a really decent little film. If you guys never seen it, give it a go. All right, number 9 is The Gift. The Gift is directed by Joe Egerton about a married couple's life who is disrupted when an old acquaintance begins inserting himself into their world here. And Rebecca Hall plays Robin Cullum, who's the emotionally center of the film, and her performance is very amazing, really anchoring the psychological tensions here. And yeah, of course, her chemistry with Jason Bateman's terrific. Joe Egerton, of course, Joe Egerton actually directed this movie as well. He did a good job with this one. It's a really good one if you guys haven't seen it. Number 8 is Please Give. Now, this movie is where like New Yorkers grapple with guilt, generosity, and moral connections here in everyday life. It's directed by Nicole Holofcener and has like Amanda Peet, Oliver Platt, Catherine Keener, and you got Rebecca Hall who plays a self-absorbed saleswoman who's who surface confidence masses insecurity here, and she has nice comedic tones to her performance, very emotional depth here. A really decent performance she gave. All right, number 7 is The Prestige. Now, The Prestige is of course directed by Christopher Nolan, probably one of his underappreciated films, I think. And this is where like two rival magicians engage in dangerous obsession to outdo one another. It is led by Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. Michael Cera was in this. Michael Caine. Oh, I didn't Michael Cera. I meant to say Michael Caine. My bad. Scarlett Johansson. Piper Perabo. Here you got Hara, who plays Sarah Bowden, who's this who is the emotionally tortured wife of a magician living with secrets here, and she gives like a really nice haunting performance. This was one of her earliest roles, say at least, and she does such a good job here. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame she hasn't really worked with Nolan since. Like, it would be cool to see her maybe join the Odyssey or whatever, but who knows? All right. Number 6 is Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. This is a really nice little underrated film, by the way. It's actually a film about the creation of Wonder Woman, and it stars Luke Evans, Bella Heathcote. Here you got Hara, who plays Elizabeth Marston, who's the equal emotional anchor in the relationship, and she plays like the Elizabeth character with jealousy, quiet authority here, and she is terrific throughout. Luke Evans is great. I mean, it is a really interesting film about how Wonder Woman became, like the creation of Wonder Woman and stuff. It's such a really good one there. Very underrated too. I feel like hardly no one that really talks about this movie anymore. All right, number 5 is the Godzilla versus Kong movies. Now, obviously, of course, she came onto the scene in the Godzilla and Kong franchise here as Dr. Irene Andrews, who is a Titan researcher and surrogate mother to the Gia character. And she really adds like warmth, credibility, and emotional grounding to her character. Of course, she will go on to reprise her role and have more of a prominent role in the sequel, really. And she's not really in the new one, which is interesting. But I really quite like her character. She's the mother and daughter kind of. She's not really her biological daughter, but Like the little mother daughter chemistry with her and the little girl here is really terrific. It's such a really good performance, say the least, and it's such a shame she's not coming back for the third one. But her storyline sort of ended, so I guess it makes sense. All right, number four is The Town. Now, The Town is, of course, directed by Ben Affleck. And this is, of course, where a Boston bank robber falls for this woman who he wants to hostage here. And, of course, you got Ben Affleck, Jeremy Renner, John Hamm, Blake Lively. And here you got Hall, who plays this bank manager who is traumatized by a robbery who slowly opens herself to love here. And she plays the part very emotionally, realism here. Blake Lively's great. It's such a really decent heist movie if you guys have seen that one. All right. Number three is Iron Man 3. Now, people probably consider this as like the weakest out of the Iron Man franchise, but I still thought Iron Man 3 definitely had his moments here. And Rebecca Hall plays Dr. Maya Hansen, who's a scientist who tries to examine, who's tied to extremes technology at Tony's past here. And she's very brings empathy and moral compassion to her character, and I really quite liked her part. I mean, I feel like she is very forgotten really. I mean, Iron Man 3 came out in like 2013, and hardly no one talks about her character anymore. That's something, but it is a really decent role here. And of course, obviously, you guys Sam Rockwell as John Hammond. I mean, you got some really cool cast members here and there. All right. Coming in at number two is Christine. Now, Christine is based on a true story of TV reporter Christine Chubak, and follows a deeply isolated journalist whose mental health deteriorates as struggling with depression, professionalism, rejection here. And if I'm not really going to go much details about what happened to her, what she did on live TV, just look up Christina Chubak. You'll be able to find what she actually did to herself on national TV. It is it's really heartbreaking to find out what really happened there. But Rebecca Hall still does such a good job playing the part here. Micah C. Hall is great. Tracy Letts. It is a really interesting, intense film here, and great performances by Hall. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, give it a go. I mean, how did you not really get much award recognition? Is beyond me. I was a little late to the party with this film because it didn't really play anywhere near me at the time. But I remember seeing this one. It's a really intense one that really happens there that the film had to go through here. And my number one is really the one that really put her on the map for most people, and that is Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Of course, directed by Woody Allen. You got Scarlett Johansson, Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz. It's where two American women who vacation in Spain become romantically tangled with this painter, leading to like complicated emotional and dynamics when like his ex-wife appears. And of course, you got Har, who plays Vicky, who's the emotionally reserved woman struggling between social and expectations here. And it is a really wonderful performance, say the least. Rebecca Hall plays the part very well. It wasn't one that really put her on the map for most people. It was more of her breakout role, really. And of course, it was the one that won Penelope Cruz an Oscar. Scarlett Joe was great. I mean, say what you want about Woody Allen here and there. Woody Allen is, still pretty, was still pretty decent filmmaker despite the controversy with him. But Vicky Cristina Barcelona is a really decent one. If you guys haven't seen it, highly recommend it. And that's pretty much it there. Here's my quick rundown. Number 10, Passing. 9, 8, Please Give. 7, The Prestige. 6, Professor Marston and the Man. 5, Godzilla vs. Kong. 4, The Town. 3, Iron Man 3. 2, Christine. And number 1 is Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Now, there are a few other ones I could have included. Let's see. Definitely not Ella McKay. That was really terrible. The Night House was actually okay, a little horror film. Definitely not Resurrection. Dorian Gray. Frost Nixon. The BFG she was in. Another Woody Allen movie, A Rainy Day in New York. Starter for 10. Tumble Down that she did with Jason Sudeikis was okay. I mean, she's done some really other good stuff there. But let me let you guys. What are some of your favorite horror films? Draw Constable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Timmy Sire.